so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life? Well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting, especially since they're helping to fund all the cool projects we have in the works, such as the Positive Head app, the docuseries that I'm intending to begin shooting within the next year, and whatever else we dream up over here at Positive Headquarters to help spread consciousness across the planet. Now, if you're short on time or just super excited for today's topic and want to dive right in and skip these ads, feel free to fast forward about
2.5 minutes
to get right into today's show. That being said, I strongly encourage you to listen because the reason I'm passionate about my sponsors is because they've made a huge impact in my own life, which is why I've aligned with these organizations. And I firmly believe they can do the same for you too. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm extremely passionate about promoting is Purium. The reason I've aligned Positive Head with Purium is because I wholeheartedly stand behind their mission to end human suffering by making superfoods easily available to everyone, with the ultimate goal to help restore mankind's harmony with nature in the process. I mean, what a noble mission, right? It's no mystery that you need to bring your mind, body, and spirit into balance if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and grandest version of themselves. And for me, for years, I honestly felt like I was ahead of the curve in the mind and spirit category, but I was only average at best in the level of care I administered to my body. Sure, I was healthy-ish when it came to the food I put into my system, but after doing a Purium 40-day transformation with a 10-day metabolic reset and cleanse, I can honestly say I have reestablished my relationship with food in a very positive way. Not only did I drop the extra weight that I was carrying as a natural byproduct of the transformation so that I'm now at my ideal body weight, but I continue to feel like my best self by starting every day with an organic Purium power shake that is made from raw superfood ingredients that were meticulously harvested, thoughtfully combined to optimize the nutritional impact it has on my body. I view the shake as plant medicine, really, and it happens to taste really delicious, and I can make it in about 30 seconds. There's actually 4 core Purium products that I take every day, and honestly, I intend to do so for the rest of my life for a very scientifically sound reason. And if you want to learn more about those reasons, you can go check out my video at positivehead.com/transformation, where I go into more detail. If you end up buying any of the Purium products, be sure and use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for a 25% discount. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. So happy to be with you as always. Going to read a chapter from Oneness today. I figured it was, we got a dose of Rasha. How was that after all these years? Me talking about one of my favorite books, reading from one of my favorite books, to have Rasha on the show. Yesterday's episode, live and direct, was amazing. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't listened, just go back one episode. You can listen to the author of this book, Oneness, that I'm going to read from. And she tells her story, the journey of how it all began, and we just dig into some juicy stuff. And so I figured today it would be good to read. And what do you know? Of course, as you also know, if you've been listening to the show for a while, I choose chapters from the book with a random number generator, typically. And today, chapter 44, the last chapter, came up as the suggested chapter to read. So it seems somewhat appropriate considering we just had her on the show, kind of the final chapter, although there are some in there, because I'm not reading them in order, that we haven't gotten to yet. So anyway, going to read chapter 44, see what kind of the conclusion chapter is. It's not a book you have to read in order. And as I put it, it's sort of the guidebook for ascension, I feel. It tells you what you can expect on this journey back to oneness, and, certain sort of symptoms, if you will, crossroads that we all can expect to face. I know it's rung very true for me, having originally read it, a decade or more ago. And I was also very excited to hear that after all these years, I think she wrote it, and this came through in 1998 to her, that she's actually working on another book too. And so all super exciting. Anyway, before I do jump into reading for today, just want to throw out a couple things. If you haven't joined the Positive Heads Facebook group, definitely do that. Love to see your shiny, happy face there. Some, 6,000-ish P-heads connecting, sharing. It's a private group, so you can open up, get personal. If there's anything, that you want to connect with the larger community, it's such a wonderful space. We also just launched the Positive Plant Posse group as well, and excited about that as just a group to talk about all things, plant allies, plant medicine, for a lot of the folks that are doing the 40-day transformation and beyond with Purium. We wanted to have a separate space for that, to talk about those sort of things. So we didn't inundate the Positive Heads Facebook group with that. Only if you're interested, you could tune in there. So any of you who have participated in the 40-day transformation, the 100 plus of you already, all the ones who have decided to even go a step further and become a brand partner, check out Positive Plant Posse. We'll be connecting there and doing a lot of cool things, all in that realm, if you will. So, let's see, reviews. I'm going to read a review on iTunes before we start reading from Oneness. And you guys know I love getting iTunes reviews from you. Not only do they help us to reach new people, but they also help to fuel my fire to continue this labor of love. And you can, iTunes being the holy grail of all things podcasting, it helps us to, as I said, reach new people. Also, CastBox is a great place that you can write reviews, and CastBox is supporting this show. So I encourage all of you to check out that app. It's an awesome app. And the fact that they're supporting our show means the world to me, because never really had support from a podcast platform until CastBox. So pretty cool. Okay, so this one came in on iTunes from Hammy Girl, and it says, from Alaska. I've been contemplating writing this review for a while, but now seems like the right time. I'm a relatively new listener, maybe a month, and let me tell you, the words, "it's a daily conscious effort to keep a raised vibration," speak to me so clearly. This podcast came into my life for that exact reason. A few weeks before I heard about this podcast from a YouTuber whose name I can't remember, I was speaking to one of my closest friends about my journey and explaining to him how I knew I was on the right track, but I felt as though I wasn't putting enough energy and dedication into it on a day-to-day basis. The first time I listened to this podcast and heard those words, daily conscious effort, I immediately knew that the Positive Head community came into my life for that exact reason. Ever since I first tuned in, my journey has flourished. I have found answers that I did not know I was seeking, and I've been basing my daily lifestyle around this journey and my ability to create my own reality while spreading immense amounts of love to every person I encounter. I listen to the podcast every day, and on the weekends, I find an older episode to help me stay on track. I cannot thank Brandon, Alexa, and the P-Head community for entering my life when I needed you all the most. I am sending my love and positive vibes all the way from Alaska to you and the rest of our lovely tribe. Thanks again for being the positive change my life needed. Right at the perfect time, too, with a big heart. Oh, thank you, Hammy, girl. I added a couple of hammies there just to ham it up. Ba-dum-bump. If only I had someone here to laugh at my jokes. I don't know if that one deserved a laugh. Maybe like you could throw like rotten tomatoes at me or something. But anyway, thank you for taking the time to review. It means the world. And yeah, it really is. It is such an important piece of this. And as I always say, I started this podcast first and foremost for myself, right? I always say there are no selfless acts, especially when you realize it's all extensions of self. So whatever I do for you, I'm doing for self. When I do this to help, raise my own vibration, to teach, I always say we teach best what we most need to learn. So definitely continuing to find something, if not this show, anything that can help to raise your vibration on a daily basis. And that goes for, lots of times people get overwhelmed with it, but just find small things, small, subtle changes to actually do this. You will start noticing a ripple effect in your life. So whether it's tuning into this show, which is a great way to do it, watching YouTube videos from Abraham or, some other teacher out there who's helping to elevate vibration and shift perspective, making changes and, okay, I'm going to commit to doing yoga once a week at first, and then maybe bump it to 2 times, and then 3, instead of, sometimes if you say, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days, for an hour, starting cold turkey, it becomes overwhelming, and then you don't really follow through, right? After a few days, you're like, screw this, I can't handle it. So I recommend, starting with, especially when it comes to physical activity things, I challenge each of you to do something different to help change your physical vibration, because it's a big part of it too. And from one perspective, I guess it's easier to listen to the show than it is to go do yoga, right? So, and another thing, of course, is food, and that's why we've been talking a lot about, the Purium transformation and cleanse and all those things, because that's something that a lot of us have now been collectively doing to help that process. So even if it's just, if you're not doing that, whatever it is, choosing something different. Okay, once a week, I'm going to make a really, really healthy meal, a plant-based meal that's super high vibe and fresh ingredients, instead of, 6 nights of Hamburger Helper or 7 nights of Hamburger Helper each week, right? Hopefully no one's out there. Man, when I was a kid, that was like my favorite, like beef stroganoff Hamburger Helper. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think it would still taste good, but it's probably not as good as a fresh green salad or something like that. So making small changes, that's a big one, to shifting your vibration, and over time, you notice that those little shifts down the road end up, leading to big results, right? The butterfly effect. The butterfly effect. A butterfly flaps its wings in China, and it causes a typhoon in the other side of the world. You've heard that whole idea. So it all ripples out over time. So that's something that I challenge everyone to do. Just start making small changes. Listening to one instead of watching a horror movie, if that's something you do, maybe watch, something like that's really high vibe, right? Instead of eating the same foods all the time that are unhealthy, switch it out. And then over time, you can increase the dosage, if you will, right? Oh, now you're going to yoga 2 times a week or 3 times a week. And you're always going to get out what you put in. That's the thing. That is always the thing with whatever you're doing. If you want to know the results of what you're going to get out, whether it's with a job endeavor, a relationship, anything, any project, you're always going to get out what you put in, right? It's always going to reflect back to you. So if you can remember that and say, okay, I'm going to put in good and get out good. I'm going to put in something that is the vibe that I want to come back to me in another way. Right? I'm going to put in the effort that I want to see come back to me in another way. And of course, it starts rewiring your neurons in your brain. And next thing you know, the neural pathways in your brain. And next thing you know, you've changed your habits, right? So Anyway, so let's move right into reading a little bit from the chapter for today, the very final chapter, not a super long one, chapter 44 in Oneness, and this is by Rasha. As I mentioned, you can hear episode 752 yesterday was with Rasha, and let's see, and this book came through in 1998. And this is the final thing they had to say back then, sort of leading into the next book, I suppose, that she's writing, and from one perspective, right? Viewing Your Life Through the Eyes of Oneness is the title, the header. The issues on which you have chosen to focus your attention will illustrate for you the level of your own involvement in the transformational process that has captured the attention of consciousness throughout all creation. There is no specified timetable within which you have been programmed to complete certain phases of this existence. All of this is being presented to you as choice. And given that certain of these teachings may have struck a note deep within you, this opportunity for reflection is likely to initiate a monumental shift within you that will help you to halt your conditioned patterns of response and be still. Let me just say real quick, because I don't want to forget it. That right there, I love that. The opportunity for reflection is likely to initiate a monumental shift within you that will help you to halt your conditioned patterns of response and be still. That's something that I've worked really, really hard at, conditioned patterns of response. And one of the things that I've talked about a while back on the show, or I can't remember when, maybe a couple months ago, I think I originally heard this in The Untethered Soul. I guess it doesn't matter where. It's really stuck with me. And basically, this idea, as soon as you notice stress and anxiety arising, your temperature gauge going up, if you're having a response to someone that is causing you an issue or causing you to, the interaction that's causing you to get heated, right, and move into a conditioned pattern of response. You can see you're going down the path you've always went down to. Your voice is getting louder, your blood pressure is getting elevated, you're getting agitated. Instead of continuing on that path, use that as a trigger to say, I'm seeing this conditioned pattern of response. Now I've trained myself that is a trigger to just let go, release, completely surrender, right? And that's basically what is being said here. When these conditioned patterns of response come up, be still. Okay, moving right along. So long as you permit the programming of your mind to dominate every waking breath, and so long as you run your life as a mindless exercise of reflex responses calculated to prove that you are right, quote unquote, about whatever your issues happen to be, you will not be capable of experiencing the exquisite connectedness that awaits you. So long as you hold your focus in the realm of mundane concerns, you will be unable to perceive the divine essence that calls to you in silence. There will come a moment in the heat of some mentalized frenzy when you will, at long last, stop dead in your tracks. You will have reached a saturation point with the unending series of illustrations that you have provided for yourself to underscore the point of the exercise upon which you have directed your focus. You will have reached the point where you are ready to walk out on all of it. For, clearly, the way it is not working. That is the moment you have been waiting for. For until you have nothing left to lose and nothing left to gain by continuing in your ingrained patterns, you do not have the catalyst for initiating radical change. Until that moment, your circumstances will continue to depict for you example after example of the life themes on which you have been working all this time. And well after you have become aware of what is really happening, your life circumstances will continue to provide for you the testing conditions that can be the springboard for transcending those patterns. You will continue to manifest life circumstances that will put your understandings to the test, long after you have mastered them in theory. For until these issues are ingrained as knowingness to the extent that they become your reflex responses, you will continue to manifest opportunities to strengthen those new patterns of reaction. By being fully conscious of what you are doing in those moments when you feel those old familiar buttons being pushed, You can begin to dissipate the vibrational charge that is drawing those kinds of circumstances to you. There comes a time in the clarity of full, lucid awareness of this process where your very life flashes before your eyes, and you are able to summarize with the energy of joy and rapture some of the agonies you have chosen to experience. In those moments of vivid awareness, you will have set the stage for the episodes that represent the waning of those patterns of energy. What follows is a virtual barrage of illustrations, all of them inconsequential, which will provoke you into shifting into a new mode of being. Your detachment from the need to be right bears the gift of transcendence, and you will discover within those depths the stillness within your own being that opens the door to your true essence. You will continue to play out your role in your daily interactions with your fellow beings, yet you will begin to see all of it very differently. They will appear to you as players on a stage, reciting the lines you have scripted and drawing you into the dance. Enjoy the dance. You are not here to sit on the sidelines and watch life unfold without you. You are here to participate fully and joyously and consciously. And once you have begun to enact your life drama in that way, you will become aware that life is now unfolding in a very different way. You will have begun to experience the higher octave of your own being that you will have embodied vibrationally. And you will begin to recognize the others discreetly playing their roles on the sidelines of your own dramas who illustrate your newfound understandings. Where have they been all this time? Where have they been while you were struggling with your monsters and going down for the third time over and over again? Right where they have been all along, by your side, awaiting your imminent arrival. The dance will take on a new tempo as the harmony that emanates from within sets the pace for other kinds of experience. And life will have transformed into another kind of adventure, one you will be guided to enjoy with beings who are able to perceive reality as you do. This physical incarnation offers the potential of infinite variations on the experience that is your life. You can veer off in a new and different direction anytime you choose. You can deviate from what you believed was your life script if it pleases you to do so. And you are obligated to no one other than your own sacred self. Naturally, there continues to be cause and consequence with regard to the choices you will continue to make in the course of a physical existence. But now those choices will be made consciously, and they will result in the highest possible outcome for all concerned, when choices are made from that state of being. For when life is working for you, it cannot be to the detriment of another being. That's not how it works. Choices that give the illusion of putting your back against the wall are the very tests that hold the potential of monumental breakthroughs for all concerned. When you honor your own truth unconditionally, it sets the stage for a chain reaction of transformation all the way around. The higher dimensional realities through which you now progress will provide a broad spectrum lens through which you will be able to focus your own unique perspective. What you perceive will be your own vantage point, with the coloration of a more universal outlook. You will instinctively view the world and your role within it from a place that sees all of it as you would see yourself. The qualities of compassion will have been stimulated to the surface of your awareness, and you will be able to feel deeply the sense of standing in the shoes of another, for you will perceive that other as your very own self. Now the adversarial role that others have played throughout much of your life shifts quite naturally, and you discover that you have emerged into a state of being where life flows effortlessly and with relatively little conflict. Or, vibrationally, you will have crossed the threshold from a reality where the mindset of separation would have set up the building blocks of disagreement and the ensuing battles into which they once escalated. When one does not perceive oneself as other, there is nothing with which one can clash, and life transforms into an experience that is there to be enjoyed. That is the nature of the journey in which you are, by now, well invested. You would have encountered the proverbial point of no return any number of times on any number of counts, and you would have stumbled headlong into the crises that are calculated to push you over the edge and stimulate the shifts that herald real change. You would, by now, have survived numerous episodes calculated to bring you to your knees experientially. It cannot have been otherwise. For if you are standing at the brink of that level of breakthrough, you would have weathered the virtual annihilation of your linear identity. You would be standing, still wet with the innocence of a birthing process, drawing your very first newborn breaths and trusting completely that you are safe. and you would know unquestioningly that you have arrived. The difference in this beginning is that you would know exactly from whence you have come, for you would have retained full lucid awareness of all of it. Throughout the process of this birthing into the next dimension of reality, you would be fully conscious, for you would have completed the course of study. There would be no need to blank out the slate of your memory of similar experiences in order to continue to put you to the test. This time, you are not starting from scratch. You are beginning from where you left off only a moment ago. Your ascension into the range of realities where you know yourself to be one with all else you encounter marks the turning point in your evolution as a pinpoint of consciousness with self-perception. For, from this point forth, the thrust of your efforts will not be focused in erasing the vibrational residue of past action. Rather, you will embody the experiential reinforcement of your knowingness of the interconnectedness of all life in the ongoing now moment. You'll be starting a fresh new page in the ongoing saga of your self-awareness, and you will be creating a new track record of evidence to support your understanding of your divine connection. That is the kind of experience you will be co-creating with those others in physical form with whom you choose to surround yourself. And the kind of experiential dramas you will enact will affirm for you over and over again the oneness of which you are a part. That is the nature of the journey of ascension that carries you. The birthing process can be relatively effortless, or it can be agonizingly long and drawn out. You get to choose how it will play out for you, and the possibilities are limitless. That's the beauty of it. For no matter how you manifest your emergence into that next level of awareness that awaits you, there will be no question that your journey is perfection. Through the eyes of oneness, that is the only possibility. And those are the eyes through which you have witnessed all of it. Every priceless moment captured for all time within the never-ending moment of now. Ah, how beautiful. How perfectly synchronistic that we landed there by chance, quote unquote, for today's episode right after Rasha being on. I feel that fully, that I am living from that perspective of oneness more than I ever have. In a way, I had a long conversation about it last night. You know, everywhere you go, you're there waiting for yourself. I truly feel that. My life is based on that. I believe it. I see it. I feel it. I know it. And things just continue to unfold more magically with each and every day. And you're listening. So you're right there too. Either you're ready for that to be, or it already is, or it's very much so forthcoming, or you wouldn't be vibrating closely enough with this episode that you are tuning into it. So congratulations. Well done. Bravo, I suppose. Bravo, even. Yes, it's good. Life is beautiful. You are beautiful. This has been such a pleasure, such an honor to connect again. I look forward to the next now when we can share and grow together. I do have a track to leave you all with. This is by Occult. The song is, and that's O-C-C-U-L-T, not Occult. Occult. The unknown is basically what it means. A study of the unknown, I believe. Mystery. Yeah. So Occult. This is the song Cedar. Hope you enjoy. Till next time. Love you all so, so much. Journey well. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.